Might help if I unmute it. There we go. Hey. Not sure anyone is actually watching yet. If you are, give me a heads up. I don't know why you're detecting any copyrighted music. The only music that we use is Creative Commons. So, I guess we wait. Aha, here's someone. Hey, Chase Vegas System, do me a favor and give me a thumbs up or a wave or whatever if you can hear and see us just fine. Hello, Bugbean. Everybody please give us a systems check. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us and see us. Okay, cool. All right. YouTube was giving us this thing. It's like, we've detected copyrighted music on your stream. It may be currently temporarily shut down. It's like, no. We only use Creative Commons approved, and then generally just the music of a Mr. Scott Buckley. So I'm not sure exactly why they were giving me grief on it. Anyway, us grief on it. Alright, let's minimize things here around so I can see what is going on. I'm going to go ahead and put OBS over to the side here, and we will do this. Alrighty. Excellent. So, now that I've got it more or less arranged. Viola, hello, good to see you. Yeah, normally we do the stream on Saturdays, but we were in a little bit of distress yesterday because we have an alter who binge eats at night, and we don't know who it is because nobody's willing to admit to it, and we don't really remember it, but generally wake up in the morning and there's a pile of whatever it was that got eaten the night before in the trash can. So last time it was we bought a bag of Tootsie Rolls, and yeah, the person ate basically the whole bag, and yeah, not good. We don't recommend that. So they're getting pretzel sticks from now on, you know. So everybody's saying hi. That's good. Looks like it's just, well, I don't know. How many do you count systems? You know, when you say, oh, it's just the two of us, is it really just the two of you? Metaphysical questions. So we'll throw it back on you guys. How is everyone doing? What's going on in your life? Hope you guys have been well. I guess, Shay Vegas, you were first, so let's start with you. Where are you hailing from, and how have you been? Still can't get used to the delay. England, excellent. Bad snow. Yeah, parts of the U.S. are getting that right now. Not where we're at, unfortunately, because frankly I'd rather like to see snow. We grew up in an area with snow, so we kind of miss it. Not shoveling it, but you know how pretty and playing in it and whatnot. But all right, so let's see. Bugbean, go for it. How you been? Hope things have been working out for you. And Viola, why don't you just start typing yours as well, because you'll be next, so... Soda, I promise. Okay, well, we'll just start chattering on and on, which is, of course, what we do. There we go. Sorry, it's this delay. A lot of snow here, too, more than 2 meters up in some villages higher up where we live. Viola's like, I'll start typing. Wow, 2 meters. Okay, a meter is roughly 1.5... No, wait, is a meter 3 feet? I'm sorry, I'm American. I suck at the metric system. Let's see here. So 2 meters. I'm thinking it's 6 feet, but let's see how good I am. How many feet are 2 meters? Yes, I was right. Actually closer to 7 feet, but okay. Apparently we don't suck as bad at math as we thought, so... let's see, Viola, you're having a bit of a rough time with new alters and amnesia. Yeah, it's always rough when you get somebody getting ready to come out. I know one of the signs for us is we'll start to lose time again, minutes here to 45 minutes to a day. Before then, and then the trauma will kind of start to kick up as well. So yeah, I don't know if that's true for everybody, but we do get that too. So sorry you're having a rough time, Viola. Practice your DBT, which is just keeping yourself busy, mindfulness, drink water, meditation, whatever it does, self-care, whatever you can do to help you get through that. Leslie, we're just going to call you Leslie. Hi, Leslie. System of 15 from South Texas here. Hope everyone is staying in good spirits. Good so far. It's 2021, and it's off to an interesting start. But, ups and downs. Think the same as everybody. It's okay, Bug Bean. We found it. Google. South Texas. We've been through Texas several times. Big state. Huge state. Takes forever to get across. So, yeah. Kudos to you for living in an immense area like that. It's just, so desolate. I don't know. Alright, so it would be Oretley. Oretley, yes. So if the O is silent, Oretley. Leslie Oretley. Okay. Oh, and here we went ahead and attempted it anyway. We're actually pretty good with names. We love different languages and studying them and whatnot, so we're not half bad at it, but yeah, we try to be as respectful as we possibly can. Shea Vega System says they've just discovered a new alter 2. She's 7 and loves the color purple. The color purple and dolphins. Dolphins are cool. I think they're really misunderstood. We need to do way more studying on dolphins. And sea creatures in general. Actually, Mrs. Infinity System wanted to be a marine biologist, and I believe did she get her degree? Or, I know she did studies, but yeah, for sure, fascinating stuff. But a new little, hope it's going smoothly. We recently had, well, by recently I want to say within the past 2 or 3 months, a new little emerge. Her name is Susie, and she's 6. And she's a quandary because she's a trauma holder, but she's happy. She's got a very bubbly, little girl, shy, giggly type of personality, but doesn't seem to hold any of the weird, well, just all the negative stuff. So we're trying to wrap our heads around that one. So yeah, a little weird. So when littles come out, it's always interesting. Actually, when anybody comes out, it's interesting because you never know. It's like grasping at bits of shadow until they decide to let you know who they are and what they're all about. So, yeah. Susie, can't figure her. Our therapist says that it might be because the victim, when a child is traumatized like that on a repeated basis, it becomes the normal, which we cover in our Trauma Doesn't Lie video, the Denying DID series. And she said that it's possible that those good memories, those good times, or those few happy things, because they're so rare, can actually serve to be traumatic because the system is so used to the abuse. So it remembers that and shapes the personality more. I don't know. We're still working on that, but she's there and she's bubbly and she keeps wanting to push her trauma at us, and we're like, no, not until we're in therapy. So, all right, let's get back to the replies here. Viola says, yes, she's trying to self-care. Not easy, though. And yes, trauma UGD kicked in pretty hard. Yeah, we just had a bitch of a flash. Sorry, there's just no other word for it. We had a real bitch of a flashback 2 nights ago. And good for us, we actually managed to control it. Well, not control it, but minimize it with, our scented oil, this stuff. What? Shake the camera. This stuff right here, which is, I don't know if this is going to focus or not. It's Mandarin Orange essential oil blend. It's a mainstay. It's a Walmart thing. But that's the first thing to get us back to, we associate that smell with the present. Because a lot of the times when we're having a flashback, we're smelling alcohol and cigarette smoke and BO because, well, that's what went along with that. So there's that. But, we managed to pull ourselves, kind of ride the surface of it, but we've been wiped for just 2 days afterwards. So yeah, it's nasty. So sympathies with you there, Viola. Okay, Bugbean says, rough here too. We have trauma that makes wearing masks almost impossible, but masked people are even worse. We have a medical attest, but always wear it anyway because people attack us when we don't. Sorry your chat is so slow too. Yeah, those triggers can be tough. One for us. Our wife likes sheets and top sheets and whatnot and the whole kit and caboodle, whereas we're just more of a blanket person. And we always end up, whenever there's sheets on the bed, they inevitably get wrapped around our feet and ankles and really freak us out. Because that's a hardcore trigger for us because we were subjected to a lot of involuntary things like that. So yeah, they can just be all over the place. So yeah, we sympathize. Triggers can be tough to control. Shea Vegas, a marine biologist would be amazing. It's going okay. We don't have any communication. We only know things about her from what people have told us. Yeah. To be honest, I don't know how many or how much non-co that we do. I know that we miss time because there's a lot of times when I think it's a day or later than it should be. That happens a lot. We're still getting it all sorted out, and we know that there's still just so much that we haven't covered yet, but we had to kind of have a forced lapse in our therapy because of COVID and financial problems and other things, and our therapist having to quarantine, and it's just, it's been a nightmare. So it's basically kind of been a running thing for us. Here, Susie decides to come out, and all the trauma that comes along with her, and then we get one session with our therapist, and then it's like, oh, so yeah, we're just kind of like that cat hanging on in the poster. I hate that poster. I don't know why I reference it so much. Maybe because we hate it. Let's see. Yucky, you smell those things too. Yeah, there's nothing like going about your day and then just all of a sudden smelling intense, because we're not smokers, cigarette smokers in the house or anything. So, yeah, nasty. Yeah, it's that sensory memory is just almost unbearable. It's almost the guaranteed as one of the first signs that we're going to have a flashback. Let me move this just a little bit back to where it was. Oh, glare. Nope, the other way. It's in reverse. Alright, I guess we'll have to live with that. Hopefully I'm looking at you guys enough. I guess. Pepsi, I assure you. Alright, so, we've just been chatting. If any of you guys have any questions or anything, those of you who haven't been here before, basically here's our rules. You have a right to your opinion. You have a right to state your opinion. You do not have the right to abuse other people with it. We don't discuss religion. We don't discuss politics. Keep them out, mind your P's and Q's, and we'll never censor your comments. Try not to use too much profanity and make your case. That's all there is to it. End of story. So, however, if you break those rules and get nasty, we will ban you without a second thought or mercy. I think everybody here is, basically long time, but that's a general sound off on our live streams and on our channel as well. Free speech. So there it is. Okay, so let's see here. A couple more rolled up. Okay, Leslie says that she's also dealing with new flashbacks. Found something, a form of media from childhood, and it's been flooding in now. On one hand, I want to know, and getting confirmation is great. Yeah, we've been finding that one out for ourselves too, Leslie. There's a lot of media in our childhood that's tied to the trauma that we weren't aware of, so it's kind of like a minefield. For example, Christopher, our littlest, likes to watch Disney movies, and some of the Disney movies are positive triggers and others are not. And it kind of makes sense, because it's like, we have always loved Disney movies, but we absolutely hate The Jungle Book. For some reason, there has just been something about that sets our teeth on edge ever since we were little. And we found out why. So yeah, we totally get you on the media thing. Watch out for music too, because we've found that there are some real powerful triggers on that that have caught us by surprise. So yeah, sympathies. Where am I supposed to look? I guess here. They should put the thing in, like, have a camera, Shea Vegas System says, stop smoking now because we were triggering ourselves all the time. We never started, or really drank alcohol. I mean, yeah, I drank every now and then. But yeah, tobacco was something that we just, and it was probably because of the trauma, and also because one of our abusers was a pack-a-day smoker. We will always have the scent of cool milds in our, oh god. So yeah, in this case, trauma worked in our favor, same thing like with drugs and whatnot, I mean, yeah, it's pot's okay and whatnot, but it's like any of the hard drugs is what we're talking about. Trauma working in your favor, yay. Leslie, my little is our trauma holder, and she just cries. Yeah. Christopher's, there aren't words enough. It's heart-wrenching. They will break your heart. And it's so weird because it's you. But it's not you. It's the you that you once were, and most of us systems have repressed that trauma and repressed that feeling. And when the littles finally come out and begin to be them, it's all of a sudden you're reconnected with the way that you looked at the world then and the way that you perceived it. And it's the weirdest, most heart-wrenching thing, because they're so hurt, and it's just, there was more than once when we just simply cried ourselves to sleep, just simply because of the anguish we felt because of that. So yeah, Eco, yeah, hello Eco, welcome. We didn't see you pop in. Reach out, little things. You have to build trust with them. We're assuming that you haven't processed the traumas yet, but it's always part of an ongoing process. Christopher stayed in the darkness for some 30 odd plus years and cried. That's all he did. He never talked, ever talked. Just stayed in the darkness and cried. And once we started in therapy and our therapist began to, he was the first to come out. He was the first. Well, I mean, other than me and Data and Bootstraps, who were basically the three, it gets complicated, particularly with our system because of we're so trauma locked. But Christopher was the first to come out, and we were just unprepared for it. But little things, like if you're at the grocery store or store and detect a flicker of interest for anything like a toy or stuffy or something, it may not be something you would ever think of buying, but if you catch that whiff of interest from them, don't hesitate. Get whatever it is. Little things like that to build up gestures. We know it's weird letting go control of the front to the littles. It's scary as hell. But find a safe movie or something that you can put on for them. Create a safe environment for them outside of the body, in a controlled environment if you can. Give them the positive things, the positive triggers, like with Christopher's chocolate milk. Hershey's chocolate milk, it has to be specifically that taste, and to a certain degree, and he's picky now. Not so much before, but as you're getting going, giving them a safe space is vital to helping them to heal. This is one of the reasons that we created the little stories with Percival, our safe space, which you can see part of behind us here, because we realized nobody was doing content for littles, and littles need content because they are the base of us. They are the base of, they're at the beginning of where this all started. And if we just go, oh, we can't deal with the littles, they're too precious, we can't, make any content for them or anything, wrong. Why? So that's why, and actually it was a happy accident, because it was the viewers, after Percival started reading stories, who were like, oh, this is so comfortable, you should start a series. And we went, ding, here's something that we can all work on together that benefits everybody. But the best part about it is that the littles of various systems and the systems themselves, and even neurotypicals and singlets, have really tuned into it, because it is a standard safe space. It's something that they can depend on, that's always going to be there for them, that is never going to change. It's there. It's forever, just like they are. It's a moment of time that they can re-experience again and again and again, and thus build that connection. So that's another reason why we started it. So if you haven't clued into those already, please go check them out. We have a whole playlist of them. If there's one thing that we've done that we're proud of, it's that. So please go check that out. And we've seen a lot of scrolling, so we're going to get back here. Hope that helps, Leslie. Yeah, Bugbeam says, and so afraid of everything. You're welcome, Leslie, absolutely. And yeah, and I know you're thanking everybody in the comment section for their support as well. And this is one of the best things that we love about you guys, is that the phrase community is tossed around a lot, but, and this is kind of the way that we see the channel, is not as like our channel, but as a resource for you guys to spur discussions to where you help one another and everything. I don't know if we're quite making any sense, but anyway. Some more comments here. Let's see. Ecosystem says, yes, jelly candies in nougat. It's what we make for Anne. She loves it, but our teeth aren't what they used to be. Amen. Ecosystem, you just gave us the name of one of your littles. Would you like to have her on one of our... it should be showing up, maybe not. I think we might have to drag it over top of... Hang on. There we go. I figured it out. Okay, would you like to have her name put on our wall of sheep? And these are the sheep here. Actually one of 3 different types, but we go ahead and we write the littles' names on them and put them up on the wall, and this offer is open to everybody watching or listening. If your littles are brave enough, if you're comfortable with that, we'll go ahead and more than happily put it on there. It helps everybody to feel more a part of it and what we were just talking about. So let us know in the comment section here. We're keeping a running list and always on the lookout for new littles to add to the safe space. So we'll make the sheep go away now. Bah. Sorry. Okay, let's see here. Meanwhile, back at the stream. Okay, let's see. So, 230. Okay, Bugbean says she bought socks with kittens on them for the little, and it helped a lot. I've heard this desire and helps them with grounding now. Yeah, you'd be surprised, just the little silly things that don't mean anything to you mean a lot to them. And I think part of that might be, now I don't know about you guys, but we didn't get anything really holidays. I mean, but you know, a toy at the supermarket, that was a frivolity that just didn't happen. Things like that just didn't happen. So now, by filling in those gaps, as it were, we're completing that cycle of satisfaction at last. This is something, and we've actually went as far as to track down toys that we wanted then, but were denied for one reason or another, and there was always a reason. If it wasn't for our grandparents. Anyway, we've went so far as to track down those desired objects and repurchase them. And it actually helps to close that loop of denial and actually does bring satisfaction to this, you know, trauma that's been sitting there. So yeah, littles, very powerful. Don't underestimate your littles or the things that will make them happy. Okay, let me shift here real quick. Sorry for the screechy, screechy, screech. I know that my mic is uber sensitive. Okay, you guys are finally making me scroll back. I was keeping up here. Okay, so yes, we were on the socks. Anne is a little, by the way. We figured that, ecosystem. Let's see. Shea Vega system. Okay, agreed 100%. Viola, when one of my littles came out and showed interest in a certain character, a squid in a kid's cartoon, I got her a squid stuffed animal. Helped her so much. Yeah, exactly. If they latch on to something, then by all means try to work that to your advantage, because they may not give you a lot. Of course, every system's different. Rosa's Rent. Hello. It's all right. We knew that you guys were watching Voyager. You said so, and we didn't want to interrupt that. Besides, you've been having a morning, so we figured we could roll along without you for a little while. But, hello, good to see you. Bless her with her squid. Yes. Okay, I wrote you saying. Okay, we will go ahead and add Anne to the wall there, ecosystem. Absolutely. Let me go ahead and make a note of that on my stream notes. And sheep. New sheep. A-N-N-E. And like I said, anybody else who wants to have their little's name on the wall, let us know, and we will add them and have them up before the next little stories, which should be Before long. Percival's been on, I don't know, he comes and goes as he pleases inside of the headspace, and I know Rosemary basically is the next up, but there's been issues that we have to work around there, and she wants the kitchen cleaned to the nth degree before she goes on. So it's coming. It's coming. Promise. So yeah. Let's see. Let's see. That would be great. Thank you. Oh, hey, Clover. How's it going? Just wanted to say hi. I'm on break now. Can't stay the whole time, but wanted to drop by. Thank you for spending your few precious minutes here. We know how important those breaks were to us when we were doing that. Let's see. Bug Bean also found a toy on the internet had as a child and got it secondhand. Helped so much. Yeah. That Robotech figure on the wall back there. That's one of Christopher D's links to the past, and it was a model kit that he had built back then, and we had it was lost, or well, it was destroyed. Let's just put it that way. It was destroyed. And we hunted it down for him, and and this was before we actually even knew we were a system. It was just we had this overwhelming impulse to buy this model kit. It's like, oh, yes, rediscover your childhood type things, and that was just one that stuck. We didn't realize it was a little wanting his model back, but now it's like, okay, that's where that came from. Hello, Just a Mom. Good to see you. Welcome. Okay, I'm caught up on comments here. Feel free to ask any questions you want. It's a free-form forum. Say that 10 times fast. Got to go to bed. It's past 10:30 in the UK, and we need to get up early tomorrow. We'll catch up whenever this is uploaded. Take care, Chris and System. Everybody, thank you for stopping in, Shea Vega System. We look forward to seeing you around the channel and on the live stream. Thank you very much for spending time with us. Head to bed, get some rest. That's a precious commodity nowadays, so be well. And remember, you're loved, you're strong, and you're not alone, okay? Thanks for coming on. Okay, and also envious of UK. I've always wanted to go. Okay, anyway, back to it. Clover says she has a Star Trek altar and have no clue at all about the series. I always get a chuckle when people mention Star Trek because I know there's at least one in here, but haven't a clue about it. We've been Trekkies since. We grew up with it. But we don't have any altars based on that. We don't really have fictives. The closest that we would have would be Percival or Arielana. Thanks to Roses, we actually found out where at least one of the major influences for where Percival came from. But we get the question about Star Trek a lot because we have data. But there is no affiliation or anything. It's more a reflection of what he does than anything else. It kind of amuses him to be compared, but and altars can be so diverse. So, Off-Grid Grandma, hello. Pearl says she wants to be a sheep. Oh, yes, she saw... Okay, good. She saw the sheep during Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, says that she loves it so much. Excellent. Okay, let me jot that down, Pearl. So far we have Anne and Pearl. Okay. Let's see. The Somnambulant System. Welcome. Good to see you on the stream. Okay, our littles have super big attachments to old toys as well. I'm really glad we kept a lot of our stuffed animals. Yeah, ironically, we had just cleared out we had a bunch of stuffed animals as well, and just before we were diagnosed, we had actually finally donated them to Goodwill. Well, most of them we still have, as you can see, the ones that mean something to us. Christopher has his Bitsy and Betsy, and but yeah, we had a lot, and we just recently thinned them out. But the littles, I like them. I mean, it's like, here I am, I'm almost 50, and I go to bed with 2 stuffed hippos under my arm every night, because littles. Rosa says most of her toys are residing in a storage tub. Yeah. Yeah, there's still a few out in the sheds that we haven't pulled out, I don't think. Some of them were our late wife's. I know there's at least a Barbie doll Malibu Cruiser out there in a box and some other stuff. I don't know what all is out there. I know there's a lot of Star Wars stuff. Not the original when the Phantom Menace came out. One of us, who knows, decided that, oh, hey, the original figures went up in value so quickly. This is new Star Wars. It'll also be as popular. Let's buy the figures. And Phantom Menace. Oh, well. They made great toys for our son when he was growing up. So they served a purpose after all. So as usual, throw up the questions, guys, or if you just want to chat, if you want to comment on anything, feel free, ask us what you want. You know us by now, we're not shy of answering questions. Mute the mic here real quick because we need to move and this chair squeaks. There we go. Oh, and yeah, also because last time we promised. Yeah, that is not there. Other way. Well, cat. And that would be Mr. Colby T. Culberton the third, although he's actually just the first, because he's the best cat ever. So, last stream you guys wanted a cat bomb. There's your cat bomb. Okay, let's see here. Catching up. Oh, hello, Will's mom. There you are. You finally made it to a stream. Yay. You have 2 very old toys with you. A 69-year-old stuffed leopard that belonged to your cousin and my Thumbelina that you got when you were 3. That's cool that you're able to keep them for that long. That is awesome. Wait a minute. Did I unmute the mic? Yeah, I did. Okay, I think. Anyway, let's see here. I'm sure you'll tell me if I didn't. So much to clean. Most of my toys are somewhat smoke damage and need care. Is that a turtle in the background? Ecosystem wants to know. Yes. Hang on. Meet Mr. Sea Turtle. Mr. Sea Turtle is wearing a lovely shell and a pattern of white and green this evening. This kicky outfit is good for laying by the beach, burying your eggs, or being on a live stream. Actually, this is Mrs. Infinity Systems. She loves sea turtles. So, cat and sea turtle cameo. Okay, so, whoops, where'd my mouse go? There it is. Okay. Turtles covered. Off-grid Grandma wants to know what are some things you all do to feel safe. stuffed animals, obviously. If you've watched our recent one on passive influence, you know that we built a safe space in our closet for Christopher, for him to go, and it's the feeling of enclosure. It's also tied to one of our initial traumas, which is ironic, but he feels safest in the closet, and we were driven to make it. So we do that, safe space. We do have our, as we were covering earlier, our orange essential oil. This is more to help us come out of a flashback or a sensory memory, because the body memories are lovely as well. Not quite a full-blown flashback, but yeah, they're in their own way, they're worse. Blankets. A lot of systems have reported weighted blankets, or those heavy blankets, are effectual. We like to visit Blanket Town fairly often. Good books. It really depends upon, I guess, who is really feeling down or who is up front. I guess? I kind of lost the train of thought there. Okay. So, let's see. Was that a sneeze? Bless you. Don't remember. Hello, Christina Costa. Good to see you. So let's see. Those are some things we do to feel safe. Hope that helps, Off-Grid Grandma. Do we experience dysphoria too? Yeah. Yes, we do. Mimi has serious issues with the body. Refuses to identify with it in any way, shape, or form. Rosemary, while she is resigned to it, it kind of bothers her that she doesn't have breasts because the apron doesn't fall right. We've actually been working on getting her her own things. She has a wig now and an outfit, necklace and whatnot, so she'll be making her appearance soon. But yeah, Arielana is female, obviously. Susie is female. With the littles, it's I don't know if you can really call it dysphoria, because we are seeing ourselves then. When Christopher fronts, he's seeing Christopher's body. When Susie fronts, she's seeing Susie's body, which is, anyway. When Mimi fronts, she's seeing Mimi as the way that she looked. Basically the same with the others. The only ones that really don't have the body dysphoria are the mains, the A&Ps. Myself, Data, Bootstraps. I don't know about Nigel, because Nigel's only fronted once so far. Percival does... He sees his ideal version of the body. I don't know how the hell to explain it. He doesn't see us, me. He sees himself, but it's, yeah. So yeah, we get the dysphoria. We also, and the gender dysphoria, obviously. So, yeah, and it's to the point where if Mimi is fronting or Rosemary is fronting and they look at themselves in the mirror, we've had this happen to us a couple times. Getting out of the bathtub, Rosemary likes to soak, and getting out, we avoid mirrors out of general purposes, always have. But she'd look at herself, and here's everything as it should be, which is the damnedest thing, and then it overlays and fades back in. So yeah, dysphoria. Rather a long explanation for a simple question. Let's see. Yes, cat. That, like I said, that's Colby. I have an orange cat as well. He's actually one of a pair, Colby and Cheddar. Cheddar is currently out there. So, let's see. Okay, Will's mom. Here's a question that I heard a lot about. How do you and your system feel about fusion? I think it's a great power source. If we can just nail down cold fusion without any of the radioactivity and whatnot, hey, free energy for the world. Okay, now, sorry. couldn't resist. Fusion. Okay. The way that we understand it is fusion is when two or more alters decide to fuse, to become a different person. Alter, or more of the host. We're not sure exactly where that goes. There's no handbook for these kind of things. I think for OSDD systems, 1A and B, I believe they are, that is probably, I don't know, there's not enough studies. I was going to say that's probably not as uncommon as in it's more common for them than it would be for a DID system, but then every system is different. For us, fusion is not an option. We are time-locked. Our alters are frozen to that particular span of time, unless it's the ANPs who are not the trauma holders and can bridge that mental disconnect. The closest we can get to it would be Mimi, who is aware of she's in the future and that the tech is in the future. But if she thinks about it and starts to logically think about it, it sets up an immediate headache and an immediate, I think it's the cognitive disconnect or dissonance. We always get the two mixed up. The one where the brain can't have two different ideas at the same time. So she just tends to let that slide off, but for the rest of us, fusion's just not going to happen. Now, as far as the whole fusion is murder thing, just where to start on this? Okay, incoming rant, take cover. This is the part where we stick our foot in it. I think we think that a lot of the problem, certain of us think that a lot of the problem with the DID community right now is too many cooks in the kitchen. Okay, each system is different because of the traumas. Now, we've already made our feelings clear on the fakery and iatrogenic systems. I think that's how you say it. The ones that claim that they are systems with no trauma. Sorry, but the science says otherwise. Trauma, you need trauma for DID. It's just the way the science works, okay? Doesn't have to be sexual abuse or physical abuse. It can be emotional abuse or being caught in a war zone or anything like that, but if you don't have trauma, sorry, you don't have DID. You might be OSDD, you might be CPTSD, but not DID, sorry. So we've already made our feelings clear on that. We're of two minds on this. Okay, if fusion is a voluntary thing between two alters, obviously there's no murder. Now we get into the murder bit ourselves. Alters are, by definition, expressions of you. They are part of you. They are, at least for us, a slice of you in that particular point in time. If they are able to be aware of each other, if they are able to agree to integrate for systems where it's possible. Now, like I said, we're hypothesizing because it's just not going to happen for us. Functional multiplicity is where that's the best we're going to get. But if you have two alters in a system agreeing in it, how can it be murder? And how can an alt be murdered? Okay, they may go dormant. They may decide to withdraw. And I'm not saying if anybody else has had this happen to them that it's not possible, but we tend to just simply follow the laws of basic logic, Occam's razor. Everything else being equal, the simplest explanation is generally the correct one. Follow the science. Alters are created by the trauma to the brain disrupting the formation of the personality core. So that's why it can't happen after the ages of 9 or 10. We've already seen and discovered for ourselves in systems that have alters can vary. There are people who have non-human alters, fictional alters, animal alters. This doesn't speak to anything bad. It speaks to the incredible diversity of the human mind and its ability to cope. Whatever a positive influence was, or whatever the system or the alter who has experienced the trauma feels safest as, that's still going to be a defensive mechanism. If they choose to be a wolf, then if that's what they're comfortable as, they're a wolf. It's all up here. Anything can happen. Anything is possible. So, is fusion possible? Yes. Is it murder? We're going to say no. Because particularly with alters being formed, again, back to the basic science, by neurochemical changes to the brain during intense trauma, they're always going to be there on a fundamental level. Now, of course, you can go, no, you're saying fusion isn't possible. No, that's not what we're saying. I guess what we're really saying is that every system is different, but there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of, oh, well, my system has it this way and yours doesn't, therefore you must not be valid. Bottom line, fusion is great for those who have it, who can do it, but it's not for everyone. And you shouldn't be judging another system on their decisions. So there's our thoughts on that. For us, it's not possible. Functional multiplicity is the way. And now that we've stuck our foot in it utterly, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next question. This is what happens when you tell the absolute truth. But you own it. FYI, the mute didn't work. Okay, thank you, Michael. Oh, well. Okay, let's see here. How do you deal with COCON without feeling like you're faking? Any tips? Willing suspension of disbelief. And repeat to yourself, trauma doesn't lie. You're valid. There's an alter. Talking to you, you got voices in your head, you got different people. It's valid. It's valid. You just have to let go. There is a certain amount of, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. This doesn't make any sense. I must be faking. This could just be coming out of my subconscious, blah, 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 blah. Trauma doesn't lie. If you have the trauma and the effects of the trauma, it's there. So you can take comfort in the fact that knowing that the alters that you're co-con with are just as valid as you. It's just simply your brain thinking as a different person, but it's still you. So don't be afraid. It's again, these are nebulous issues that we all have to deal with. But yeah, well, for us, it comes down to trauma doesn't lie. Because you can't logic your way around that. You can't deny your way around that. It's a hard fact. If you got the trauma, you got the symptoms. Yeah. Anne says that she thinks our cat is cute. Thank you. Yeah, Michael, the mute didn't work. Okay, thank you. We can hear you. Oh, well. Anne loves turtles. She's squealing. Whoa, okay. Yes. Okay, somnambulant system. Oh, we have to go to dinner now. Hope to be back soon. You're probably back by now. We've been meandering. Been working on grounding, just Mom says it's helping the panic. Yeah. Try to trigger those senses, touch, smell, sight. We have a very sharp-edged rock that we'll hold on to and virtually cut our palm open with when we're in the middle of something to try to remind us where we're at. Listen to the sounds in the room, pick out things in the room that you can see that are there now that weren't there then. There's a whole list of things, yeah. Okay, yeah, Roses is jumping in. Essential oils are a great idea. Hello, Symphony Cosplay, welcome. Just joined. Yeah, science nerds, my kind of people. Yeah. And it's interesting. I wonder how many systems are fundamentally those science nerds. That might make an interesting episode. Kind of like the right-hand, left-handed thing that we were doing after our last one. I think it was our episode on passive influence. Yeah. Turns out we seem to be in the minority in experiencing ours on the right side. The general responses all leaned towards the left, or both, but way more left. So interesting little things. Not scientific, but we're going to keep doing these little surveys with you guys. So there's your next one. So are you a science nerd? Have you been a nerd? Let us know. Hit him in the comments. Okay, so RK420. Hey, what's up? Done with college. Glad we could still make it. Oh, college homework. Well done. Good on you for getting your homework done. Sorry, Dad. It creeps in. Dad, you could still make it to the stream. Hope you all have been doing well. Ups and downs. We've been going through some rough stuff for a little while, but we're managing and we power our way through it, and things are picking up and improving. So, ups and downs. Cosplay, yes, absolutely. Had one fusion, but they were fragments and very similar already. Yeah, we left that out about the fragments, which are not fully formed alters, so there's something else to complicate it even further. Thank you for mentioning that, Leslie. The username you didn't expect. Hey, welcome. Cognitive dissonance. Yes, thank you. That's the one. Okay, dissonance. So the disconnect is not the one that we think. We're going to try to imprint that, but it's one of those that we just get hung up on. But anyway, thank you for clarifying that. Yeah. She just can't hold the two ideas in her mind. It's physically painful. So Clover's applauding us for yes. Back to work now. Have a good rest of the stream. Thank you for having me. Thank you for explaining the CoCon thing to me. I appreciate it. Anytime, we're always happy to blather on about our experiences, whether or not you guys find them of use. Your mileage may vary. If so, great. If not, then, well, maybe somebody else out there or in the comment section might. We get a lot of that, which we love. Henry Dragons, welcome. Call our headmates brain scoops because it feels like different scoops of brain who are also whole beings. I like that. Our therapist told us one of her other DID system patients calls her alters chicks in a box, and we just had to laugh at that because it's the mental image of the host shooing this flock of baby chickens inside of the pen. That just that made us giggle. So brain scoops, I like that. That's 2 scoops of brains and 1 DID system. We'll just stop right there. Yeah, okay. Suddenly we're intruding into Hannibal Lecter category. Hello, Clarice. Yeah, we won't do that again, we promise. Okay, ecosystems. Hi, dragons. Yes, that's Henry Dragons. I love that. Everybody should have dragon as their last name. Okay, not everybody, but that's awesome. This be the verse. Hello, it's either Carrie or Kyrie. Let us know which one. Welcome. Anyway, Hannah Selney came in an hour in, but glad I made it. Hello, Hannah. Welcome. A lot of folks trickling in. Somnambulant's back. Hello, Somnambulant. You just missed our rant on fusion and every other thing where we probably made ourselves hideously unpopular with certain segments of the internet. Violet's. Oh, Violet System. Hello. Well, you're not late. You're here when you're here. It's always now. Okay. Sorry things are rough right now. Glad you're doing well coping. It's ups and downs. There's things that we deal with that we're just not going to cover with you guys because we're still in them, and they're very personal, and there's things that we're not comfortable with sharing because we have our private lives, and frankly, some of it is just none of y'all's damn business. I'm not being rude or anything. It's just we're pretty open, but there are certain things that we will always reserve to and for ourselves. So hope you're good with that. We are not here as a popularity contest. So, okay, let's see. Just a Mom, can new alters appear once the trauma situation is rectified? That is a fascinating question. We'll throw in a disclaimer right off the bat. We're not experts. We go off of what the science says. So we can give you that in our experience. The science says no. The way that we understand it and the way that it is for us, and I know we keep talking about this, but the initial trauma bonds to the brain on a neurochemical level, instituting the series of changes, walling it off behind the amnesic barrier. That is that alter, because that's who you were at that particular point in time. It's literally Polaroid and stuck away in your brain, except it's in living sense around. So it's locked. That is an EP. It's locked in place. Your trauma holders, your littles, for example. Now, here's where we get to the interesting part of it. Whether or not an alter can appear after the traumas or after the age of 9 or 10 when the ego states are supposed to congeal, but for the DID children it doesn't. From the research that we've done, and we actually answered a very similar question to this, so we actually kind of have a leg up on this. We did some research and found that particularly in the case of like OSDD systems, where they only have one ANP but numerous EPs, and it's been shown that OSDD systems can have alters appear later on after the formation. Now the question becomes is whether or not those in fact are new alters, new EPs that are forming because the trauma is not hard locked, or whether or not they are pre-existing alters. And the dividing line seems to be whether or not the alter is an ANP, an apparently normal port, or an EP. The research that we found suggests that new ANPs can form for DID and OSDD systems afterwards, but EPs cannot. And obviously, if you logic this out, there's some contradictions here that don't quite jibe. But that's why we need more research. We need hard data. We need systems hooked up to MRIs, recording the brain waves when we switch. And yeah, I know there's been a few studies done with that, but look at the small section group and look at DID and how vast and varied our traumas and our symptoms are. So that's the best of our understanding. We stick with the science. That's kind of, we're very much, it's facts, logic, science. These are things that we can depend upon. Our knowledge of science grows as research progresses, which is why it's so important right now that DID be thoroughly researched, and that, I hate the word advocate, but that's essentially what we're doing. Raising awareness and getting it out there, because nobody's going to study the problem if we don't let them know about it. But we've kind of been left high and dry, so we need to help each other out as best we can until they catch up. So, okay, so I hope that answers your question, Just a Mom. That's a tough one. That's not a cut and dried, clear cut one. So hopefully that'll help. Can't give you black and white on that one. Science says no. Yeah, but so second one, Kyrie. Okay, thank you. Yes, we do try to be correct because we care about you guys, and it's kind of rude not to. Okay, yeah, Roses, of course, is answering for us. Yeah, absolutely. New alter can be created in response to any sufficiently stressful situations in future. Yeah, but those would then be EPs, I think. God, okay, yeah, we definitely need more research on this. Okay, please hit the like button to show Chris the support. Yes, thank you, Just Mom. Does that actually do anything on the streams? I mean, I didn't even know they had one. We are so clueless with a lot of the YouTube stuff. Let's see. We don't know much. We don't know much about fragments, but it's okay. I'm sure the internet won't judge too harshly. Have you seen the internet? We've been there since its birth. But no, yeah, fragments are kind of, again, one of these fascinating little nebulous tidbits that is out there. Yeah, splitting. Okay, so Christina Acosta, hello! If something isn't comfortable for you, just do whatever makes you feel safe. If choosing not to share certain things, it is what it is. Thank you. Yeah, we're probably about as blunt as any system that we've seen out there, but then we're not sure because we also, we're going to be honest, and part of us feels bad about this, but part of us doesn't. We don't really watch a lot of other systems programming. We do watch a few. But mostly we, number one is just we don't have the time, and number two, we kind of keep ourselves in our own neck of the woods so that our experience is purer for you guys, that it's not, we don't get influenced. I don't know if that makes any sense. Maybe it's just a stupid thing on our part, but yeah. Anyway, so let's see here. So thank you, Christina. I appreciate that. Okay, Justin Mom's like, wow, thank you. Sorry, drank from the fire hose on that question, didn't you? Yeah. Okay, let's see. Let's see here. This Be the Verse says, just wondering if you have any people who are particularly hard to co-con with. I've been trying to co-con with someone in my system, but I just get super dissociated or pushed back inside. It's like really non-functional if he's with me. Is it just a practice thing? If we keep trying, maybe it'll get better. Lol, just wondering if it's a thing for other systems. That's a good question. Let me think about that. Or let us think about that. Data and I co-con so much that we're almost indistinguishable. So there's not really any friction there. Rosemary... Yeah. Come to think of it, it's all right. We're going to be nice. Okay. Sorry. Immediate reaction. Actually, two. Okay, we'll cover both sides of the coin. Yes, we do. We have two alters that are subsets of one of our alters, Christopher D. So this is alterception. So you have Christopher D, and he split through prolonged trauma and abusive manipulation and design into two separate alters, virtually diametrically opposed. One, John, the good boy, and one, Jack, the bad boy. That's all we're going to go into on the details of that. John is, we can't even reach him. He is not even aware of the rest of us. The trauma broke him utterly. He's starting to respond to our therapist, or was right before therapy became kind of a non-thing for us for a while. But we can't reach him. It's not even there. We're aware of him. He's not aware of us. But we have learned not to push anyone to try to co-con. If you do, you're going to run into some trouble. Which brings us to Jack, who did grow up with us, and even though he's an EP, he kind of served as an ANP as well. A very highly compartmentalized ANP. Because he has one job and he does it very well, and he's been in charge of that for our entire life. So yeah, or at least that aspect of it. He doesn't like to co-con at all. He does this thing and then he goes away. He does a lot of passive influence, but that would probably be our most difficult one. As to your second part, don't force it with anyone. If they want to co-con, they will. If not, they won't. Now here's where we get into it may just be us. For us, it's kind of we come and go as we please. They can be here or there. If they want to tune in, they can. If they want to tune out, they can. It's more like a conference room, and as the host, I'm the one at the table and trying to keep track of everyone else. I don't know if that makes much sense. So yeah. Okay, so we've had a few more here. So yeah, don't force it. Be the verse. That's the best that we can give you. Let it happen of its own accord. Because otherwise, as our therapist has told us, and we have had almost demonstrated to us, if you are in a flashback or a state of distress or something and you try to push it, you can literally pop a blood vessel because of the blood pressure changes that are going on in your brain then. So don't push. Good rule of thumb. And we learned it the hard way, so just please learn from us. Okay, so does anyone experience COCON with more than 2 parts? Yes. I frequently have 3 separate thought processes happening. Yes. Me, Data, Bootstraps, when he chooses to chime in. Rosemary's generally there. Percival's generally hanging out. Oh yeah, it's not uncommon at all. We've generally at least got 3 going. Sometimes all of them can be going, and I'm just like, kill me, please. Because they just won't shut up. So, anyway, yes, absolutely. Christina Acosta says, no problem, I really appreciate your bluntness. No, I'm not a system, and I have seen in the comments how other systems appreciate you guys. We're just doing our thing, and we're also really bad at accepting praise and gratitude, so thanks. This is kind of programmed into us that that's a bad thing. Anyway, okay, let's see here. Okay, you can. Okay, Ecosystem says they can COCON with several at a time, but only certain alters can do it. The Somnomulant system says that they haven't personally had more than one and one other, so that would be 2. But they do know that their protector has been COCON with like at least 3 others at once. Yeah, it gets really jumbly. Okay, Vidaverse, that is so freaking helpful already. It makes so much sense. Like, I just made connections from that. And also relief that we don't have to just push through it because it's really uncomfortable feeling and exhausting. So, yay, we can stop trying to force it. Yeah, don't force it. And you're welcome. I think any system could have told you that. But, yeah, don't force it. Yeah, just, Okay, Henry Durgan says, hooray, Kyrie. That sounds much less exhausting. Sorry, we're getting a little tired. Somnomulant system, yeah, take things at your own pace, is telling them not to be the verse, to take things at their own pace. Learning, healing isn't linear. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, there's no linearity about it whatsoever. There's no linear anything about DID. Time. Oh my God. People are not meant to live in 2 or 3 different time periods at the same time. One is enough. Thank you very much. Oh, God, we hate flashbacks. Rosa's Rent is saying they have one particular alter who can more or less effortlessly COCON with most of the system and is sort of an overall moderator, but other than that, it takes actual work to get co-consciousness. Yeah. It can, like I said, we kind of got lucky with that in that regard because we split so early and we grew up together. It kind of comes natural to us, but a lot of other things are harder, like differentiating. So every system's different. Really does, because it was really draining to us to try and COCON. Totally lost my trail of thought because of that. Good info. It's okay. Yeah, we're all systems. We lose our train of thoughts hellaciously frequently. Hell, Leslie's like, haha, yes, I'm please, like, just shut up and go back inside. Oh, man, they just don't shut up. And there's not a damn thing you can do. Be the Verse says, thank you to everyone who responded in the chat. Yes, thank you all for responding. That's what I love about our streams, is everybody is just so helpful and everything. Let's see here. Okay, Christina, go eat. Yeah, I think we can all relate to the they won't shut up. Somnomulant system, as a host, it's been really hard for them to COCON with the others because in our situation I was kind of made to not know about it, Nina said. we've heard of that happening with other systems, Nina. For us, at least that we know of, I, as the host, and we, some of us, have this desperate fear that I may not be the actual core or host. That there might be a non-co who actually is, and I'm or we are just holding place for them. Therapist says no, but we know that we have at least one alt who is either completely co-con or chooses not to co-con. That we haven't had that happen where we have deliberately non-code another, or maybe it has, but we haven't caught on to it yet. I don't know. We will watch out for that one. New thing to worry about. So, not sure we helped you, Nina, but we do feel you. Yeah. Viola, yep, it drives us all crazy. Henry Dragon says, we don't get to choose about co-cons. We can co-con with a big group or just a few of us, but it seems to happen or not. Yeah, that's kind of what we were saying, what we meant when we were talking about it's just kind of like a big room and everybody just comes in and out as they want. Yeah. We do have system group meetings where we'll call a round table. This is generally when we're at one of those crux points in our life, and we need to get our shit together and get everyone on board. But other than that, it's just kind of like I think somebody used a bowl of marbles analogy once. So yeah, Henry, yeah. Rosa says she has some specific cultures who are able to easily co-con with each other in subclusters, but not necessarily between said subclusters. We think we get that. That would be like Nigel and Percival, who are always together. I think that might actually be the only one that we've got, other than Data and I and, the ANPs. So, Sonomulant says it's tricky, kind of became the new host about 2 years ago, realizing I wasn't always sort of there. Most of my life was really scary. Found our old host a little bit ago, and she doesn't know what the pandemic is or anything. That time, the freeze can be so frustrating and weird. Like I said, for us, it's the best example is Mimi. She's in 1981 to 1984, and that's her world, and that's where she lives. And if you asked her who the president was, she would tell you Ronald Reagan, and all about Sammy Hagar, and Van Halen, and Motley Crue, and Pepsi generation, and that's... she actually does have a lot of influence on us, but yeah, she's there. Like, for example... Pepsi is the only acceptable soda. So here's to that. Our channel not endorsed or sponsored in any way by the Pepsi-Cola Corporation. When you need a refreshing drink and you don't know what to reach for. Yeah. Okay, Leslie, getting kind of tingly and tired with so much good information. Violet wants me to switch with her so we can clean, so I'm going to go to... Oh, yes, Rosemary is our cleaner. She's been after us lately. Have enjoyed this live so much. Thanks. See you all again soon. Thank you, Leslie, for tuning in, for spending time with us, and for coming by. Thank you. Be safe. Be well. You're loved, strong, and not alone. Okay? Keep that in mind, always. That's our credo. Okay, makes sense why most of our brain feels stuck in the last 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, exactly. If you've got an EP in that area, you've got a trauma-locked period. And that's how they're going to perceive it. Or at least for us, Okay, guys, if you have any other last questions, go ahead and hit us up there, and we're going to go ahead and wrap it up in about 15 minutes because we got to fix dinner tonight, even though it's just basically kind of going to be mostly leftovers. Still, it's our duty, so we need to go do that. So hit us up with their last questions. We'll go ahead and get those answered and go ahead and close it out about 15 minutes or so, depending upon how much we ramble on your questions. Okay, let's see. Just a Mom grew up as the Pepsi generation. The commercials told us so back. Yes, exactly. And then there was always Coke with the the Christmas thing. I'd like to teach the. Yeah, I'm going to stop right there. Everybody's going to have earworms. If you don't already, if you were a Gen Xer, yeah. Okay, let's see. Rose's Rent says, think one of the most important things to their specific healing journey was coming to terms with the concept that having a core is not something supported by structural dissociation. You just poked a huge hole in our law. And yeah, thank you. This is why we love you as our friend. Yes, you're absolutely right. And that was so glaringly obvious that I can't believe that we didn't realize that one. Okay, thank you, Roses. We're going to have to let that one settle for a bit. Yeah, duh. Talk about not being able to see the forest for the trees. Okay, Bugbean says, the host before me doesn't know that we are a system. So yeah, I'm sorry, Bugbean. So you can have multiple hosts, but only one. But you can't actually have a core. Yeah, because the ego states congeal enough to have a core, so all you have are the ANPs and the EPs. Yeah, if you follow the science, you're absolutely correct. Yeah, that would preclude the existence of a core. Okay, well, that solves our core host conundrum. Okay, yeah, thank you, friend. Mind spotty. Okay, sorry. Bugbean. The host before me doesn't know that we are a system. She thinks I'm her conscience. Talking to her because I'm way wiser and responsible. It's impossible to reach her. Yeah. Oh, my God. We thought we just had this hugely overactive conscience nagging at us all the time. Turns out now that we know that it was the others. Rosemary a lot. And Data. Bootstraps. Data's actually been more the subtle guiding hand, but anyway. Yeah, wow. Good luck getting her to recognize it, if she chooses to. We haven't faced that one yet. Wow. If we do, Bugbean, we're coming to you for advice, okay? Please. So yeah, Sonomulant says they feel that. No question, but thank you. This has been very helpful. No problem, Henry. To pop on in any time, feel free to hit us up with a comment on any of the videos. We read every comment. We don't respond to all of them for time's sakes, but we do respond when and where we can. We like to stay in touch with you guys. And if you drop a comment and we don't respond, either with a heart or a like or whatnot, please put it on the community tab or something, because there's this thing with YouTube where it's like, if it's a reply to a comment, we don't always get those, which is why we have to manually backtrack our videos on like a bi-weekly basis and check all the comments to make sure we haven't missed any. So, but yeah, thank you for dropping by. We're glad to have you. It's good to see your system. This be the verse. Thank you so much for doing these streams. You explain things very eloquently and always learn a lot. Oh, is that what it's called? Eloquent. We thought it was just rambling on and on. No, seriously. Thank you. We do try to be, if not succinct, then elaborative in our answers. Just how we are. When you're lied to your entire life by everyone around you, you tend to cling to the truth real hardcore. So, yeah. We're glad we're helping. This has been awesome live. So glad you got to come. And yeah, thank you for dropping by, Sonomulant. I love that name. It's so great. And it just rolls off the tongue. Always one of our favorite words. Just Mom, does that mean the core is not really there any longer? Yeah, we're going to let Roses handle that question. Because we just, got our mind blown. Not any longer, simply never there to begin with. So I think what she's saying, it's both simpler and more complicated than it sounds, because the host might have been there long enough, we think, Roses, correct us if we're wrong, that the host might have been there long enough to consider themselves to be the core, but being that there isn't actually any core, but I wonder if that's correlated with the amount of time that an ANP has spent fronting or hosting in the body. I'll bet you there's a higher correlation between those hosts and the perception of the core. Hello, Data. Just popped right in there. Meet Data, guys. You can see where the dividing line is thin. Violet System. Hello. I didn't know you were here. You should have said something. Just want to say before I head out that we love these streams. Your channel is very informative and that you discuss things that other DID channels rarely touch on, which is so important. Thank you, Polly. Thank you, Polly. That's the whole reason we started the channel, as we lurked on others for the better part of the year before we finally went, there's no representation for our age group out there, and maybe somebody might get some help. And we can talk about all the icky stuff that other people don't want to cover, but we deal with on an everyday basis. And being that we are who we are, hey, we're not afraid to get up there and say it. So, you're welcome. Thank you for choosing to be a part of that and be a part of the group gestalt that's forming around the channel here. So, thank you, Violet System, very much. One day we'll just simply learn to say thank you and leave it at that. We're working on it, really. Okay, Bugbean says there's no core here, too, because we split so early. Yeah, like us. But there have been various hosts so far. Your advice is always appreciated. Let the Littles Draw has been incredibly helpful. Thanks once again. Yes, Roses is an incredibly knowledgeable system and has lots of advice about just the nitty-gritty and dealing with various things. Their perspectives have helped us so much since we became friends with them. Just can't say that enough. Thank you. We love you. That's why. So, yeah. There's your voice of experience right there. I think they've got almost, 16 to 20 years. I think it's 16 of dealing with being a system, so way more experience than anybody that we've ran across so far yet. But yes, thank them. Kudos to them. I'm probably making them embarrassed, so I'll stop talking now. Okay, so Somnomulant, that's actually helpful. Yeah, about that. I think our community takes the original host as the core. Oh no, praise flails. Yes, I've made them uncomfortable now. They have the same thing about praise that we do. Kind of goes hand in hand with certain types of trauma. But yeah, we're both working on it together. Okay, guys, we are going to go ahead, and if nobody has any other questions, we're going to go ahead and close things out here because we've got to go get to fixing dinner. The ham and whatnot isn't going to fix itself. So we will go ahead and give you guys about another 5 minutes here. Anything else? Oh, you're off to eat birthday cake. Well, why didn't you say something, Will's mom? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Will's mom. And we're not going to say your real name, even though we actually know it from your emails. Happy birthday to you. Seriously, I do hope that you have a happy one. Thank you for stopping in. We're always glad to see you and your comments. Okay, Off-Grid Grandma, this is great. The when everyone has lied to you your whole life about everything is very validating. Thanks for the channel and the stream. Yeah, we kind of have this thing about the truth. Yeah, so thank you, Off-Grid Grandma, and we are glad to have you, and we're glad that it's helping older systems. This is why we created the channel. We need some representation out there. So yeah, hey, when you get comfortable, why don't you start a channel and start doing some content, huh? Idea. Challenge. You don't have to if you don't want to, but we do encourage everyone to get out there and tell their story. Because the more of us that are telling it, the more we can get some good representation and people actually believing what this disorder is all about, rather than the crap that they see everywhere. Twitter. Did I say that out loud? So, yes. Thanks for the stream. Have a great night, Somnomulant. You too. Have a great evening. Bye, guys. Trying to wrap your head around no core blown away. Yeah. Brain splody. Thank you. Bye. Bye, be the verse. I'm sorry. We will nail that pronunciation yet. Bye, everyone. Thanks for the lovely stream. Not at all, guys. Have a great night. Everyone, remember, say it with us, you are loved. You are strong, and you're not alone. Okay? Thanks, guys. We're going to go ahead and sign off now. Bye.